Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Closers Are Losers. Me and Jeremy today, a little bit unstructured, a little bit unplanned, but that's how we like it. So, how are you, Jeremy?
Hey man, I'm pretty good. I have got a massive head cold, so I'm not at my house. I came here. We have a lake house about an hour north. I'm quarantining. I don't think I have the Rona-virus, but just in case, I'm hanging out here for 3 or 4 days. I was kind of excuse to get away. So I'm going to play a little pool after this podcast and stuff. But man, I'm like sicker than a dog. I just did a live and I sounded like Darth Vader. So we will suffer through this. We will make it happen.
It looks like with that pool table and that setup you got, it looks like you'll be suffering through kid-free for the next couple of days.
Very suffering this weekend for sure. 100%.
I think I might have a touch of it as well. Might need to self-isolate.
You need to self-isolate so you don't have to take care of the kids this weekend or anything. But no, it's awesome. So yeah, so glad to be on here with you today. Closers are losers. So just to kind of introduce you. So I'm the founder and chairman of Seventh Level. Matt's our CEO. He's awesome. And we're an organization. If you haven't heard our show, we help sales professionals and executives, companies really transform the way they sell by learning skills, by learning sales skills and certain skilled questions that work with human behavior rather than against it. That's big. That's a big deal. We call these neuro-emotional persuasion questions. We teach you the right tonality, put your prospects at ease, eliminates sales pressure, and gets your prospects to actually persuade themselves. What a novel idea. It's Matt, beautiful. So what do you want to cover today? We're free rolling. We've got some interesting developments.
Yeah, we had an interesting discussion with Mr. Bradley the other day.
Yeah.
He needs a bit of the NEPQ in his life.
So what do you do when Bradley? So Bradley, I was on one of his Dropping Bombs show about a year ago. I'm on a next episode with him on another Dropping Bombs podcast with him in 2 weeks, actually. So everybody should tune that in. That's going to be wild. So what do you do when Brad? So we have our training content with Brad's company, Lightspeed VT. So we have all of our sales training materials, our video training, all of our stuff with that company.
Phenomenal platform.
Phenomenal platform, by the way, the best out there in the world. And Brad came to us and was like, hey, we've got all these affiliates. They're not selling anything. They're not selling our program like they should be. And so like, hey, can you guys possibly take over? And we're working out a possible deal there to take over, hire salespeople, hire other setters and everything, and really taking over that account for Brad to be able to really get his product and services out into the world, even more than it already is. He's already got a huge name, of course, but he's just wanting to take it to the $1 billion level. So you got to have the right.
He's struggling. We need to,
He's struggling.
He might only have 3 lake houses.
He only has 5 houses. He has not become a billionaire yet. So he is struggling. So he came to us.
Bernie Sanders has got 3 houses. I mean,
even Bernie Sanders has 3 houses. I mean,
he's a communist.
Politics pays, right? Politics pays.
People hate me. I don't live in the States, so I don't really care what's going on.
Yeah, no, Matt lives in Australia anyway, so
I just like making jokes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just see those memes of him hanging out in the cold.
I know. Isn't that funny? The memes. I love the Bernie Sanders memes in the cold with the mittens on, and I love the Trump memes. Like those are always the funniest. And sometimes people on either side, they get so offended, and I'm just like, it's a meme.
It's a meme. Yeah. I wonder where meme came from. I have no idea what it even means. I love memes. I actually use memes a lot. I've made a lot of money following up with memes. It's a great pattern interrupt. I don't know if you remember the old school. You probably do the old school selling when you sell in person, and then you'd like clap, or you'd like hit the table. The really old school like pattern interrupts. If someone's going down a bad sign, you'd be like, "What's that?" Yeah. Just something to take their. I was like, oh, sorry, that was a fly. Sorry, just got that. Anyway, that's an old pattern interrupt, right? And I think that memes are like the modern day pattern interrupt, because it's like you can say things because it's contextualized through a photo. So you can say things you wouldn't normally get away with saying to someone that you don't really know very well. They're like, you got me. You know what I mean? Like when someone's ghosting you. I used to send out the one with the skeleton on a park bench. I was like, just waiting for you to get back to me.
And how many people got back to you? I love that.
A lot of them. A lot of them. And especially like it's so powerful these days, like because you've got so many different mediums that you can, like this is the age of the salesperson. I mean, we have, I'm sure they're going to lock up a few of these loopholes soon because like you can be a creep on people these days. You can Facebook them. Yeah. And that's got automatic read receipts. So you can see if they've read it. You can text them. Then if you got their number, you can WhatsApp them. You know what I mean? And if they're on Telegram, you can Telegram them. You can Voxer them. You can, there's just so many ways to
You can send them a video. You can send them like a personal video. And we teach companies to do a lot of that, make it more personalized as well. That works extremely well too, for sure.
Yeah. You know, Sean does that. Sean, our marketing guy, Sean Henry from Venture Suite, he sends out like in folders, personalized videos, and he mails it to their house. And then they open it and it's, hey, I'd love to work with you.
Hey, Sean, why didn't we get a video? I'm offended, man. We've been working with Sean for 5 months and we have no videos yet.
Well, he's not trying to get us as a client.
Apparently, man, we were just too easy. We didn't even need the video. We should have held out longer to get the video in the mail.
It's very true. Very true. So yeah, so the Brad Lee stuff is super interesting. I think it'll be a big one for him and for us. I think it's a really interesting prospect. And you just finished a live Q&A as well. So the group is really ramping up. For those of you who aren't in the Facebook group, just join it down below. It's like 3,000 people in there now. We only started at what?
3,200, baby. 3,200 in the first 4 months. We're growing rapidly. Now we're running ads to it. So we're going to have, I would say in the next 12 months, we're probably going to have, according to Sean, close to 20,000 people in that group.
Yeah. And that's a place that we can basically just teach people for free. I think one of the things that we spoke about when we started that group, and it was just like, this should be a place where, obviously we want to make sales from it. And we want to we have a business where we coach people how to do sales and we help businesses do sales. So it's a good place for us to sort of show how we can do that. But essentially, the people who are new, the people who are starting, they can go in there, they can do Q&As with you, a person who's made tens of millions of dollars in straight commissions as a commission only sales rep. And like learn from people who are doing it in the trenches every day, which is, I think, the big difference between us and a lot of other sales coaching organizations. I still sell, you still sell. Yeah. Everyone still sells.
Well, I think it's a massive difference because, and people say that because we're people who actually proved it. I see so many sales trainers and you'd be surprised, like big names. When I was at events, in my sales days, when I just had my W-2 job, and I'd be at events and I'd find out more details. I'd get up on stage, I'd get some awards and stuff, and I'd find out more details about the sales trainers. And some of them that were big names that have 20 New York best-selling books weren't even the top salesperson in their company they worked for when they were selling. I'm like, how is that even possible? This guy's up on stage saying, hey, I'm going to teach all of you how to make $350,000 a year plus as a salesperson. But guess what? In his job, he never made that himself. So how the hell are you going to teach somebody the skills to make that much money if you couldn't do it when you were a sales professional? Yeah, it just always boggled my mind.
No, it's crazy. And I think like the interesting thing is I know like me and you have both released full sales calls, like the full like live sales calls. Yeah. I've never seen anybody else do it.
Because nobody knows how to do it. They're too scared.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like we released that full. I've released 2 sales call now, and I think that you have a couple out there as well. And you sold a guy live on stage.
I even did mine on stage. How about that? I was at a sales training event, a business event. I was the guy they brought in to do sales training. This was back in 2015, before I even launched the company. I was still a salesperson, and like, hey, you should really come in and train our salespeople. It'd be really great. And they paid me like not enough. I was just like, yeah, I want to go. It's like in Aruba. I'm like, Aruba, first class, give me a nice hotel. I'm in for 2 days. So I came in. I was the last speaker on a Sunday night, and the event had went over for 2 hours. So I didn't get up on stage till 10 p.m. Most people are zonked out at that, 10 p.m. It's the last guy, like people should be leaving. And I got up there and I asked the audience to give me one of their leads. And I got on their leads, connected with that lead on Skype because they had the person on Skype. They had never closed this person. They couldn't close this person. Been working with them for months. I got on stage live on Skype, and in 25 minutes closed into a guy that I didn't even know what they were selling, and I closed him and he paid on the spot. Who does that?
Yeah. Marco did that the other day as well. That's where we got the idea. So we did that seminar, And Marco was like, so at the end of this, we're going to be selling a program. It's $3,000. Who here has an objection? Some guy goes, I do. Marco goes, all right, unmute yourself. Let's go. And started at the objection handling.
Yeah.
Like that. And he goes,
see, we in our company,
got paid.
Yeah. When our company, like, we teach you the skills, how to do this. Like, it's not theory. I think that's the biggest thing. That's why Delta Point's in negotiations with us. This is one of the biggest sales training companies in the world. They've been around for 20 plus years. Jerry Acuff, the legend, they're negotiating with us to come in and take over their clients with him, because he's going to be retiring in the next 2 years. Yeah. There's a reason why he's coming to us, not somebody else that's bigger, because he sees what we have. He sees the training and the results, the thousands of testimonials that we get for our clients. And he sees that, dude, Jeremy's up calling leads on stage, closing people. Matt's doing it on the phone. People are seeing it on Zoom. We've got our vice president of sales that just did it on a one-to-many live. It's overcoming objections. And people are like, holy cow, these guys really know what they're doing. So yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. That's the key. I think, like, you show, that's what they say with podcasts and YouTube and content and Facebook. Like, you either talk long enough to where everybody knows you're an idiot, or you talk long enough to where everyone knows that you're an expert.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy to figure out who's who. And I think the more we do it, like we're doing lives every day. We're doing role plays every day. I've sold, every Friday I pretty much sell somebody live on the role plays. And I could about 2 weeks ago, I just said, okay, who's got a problem?
Yeah.
And I just went because I said, all you need is a problem. Once you have a problem, that's all you require. Yeah. It was like, oh yeah, I'm really struggling to overcome objections. I was like, okay, fantastic. Yeah. What objections are you struggling to overcome? Okay.
Yeah.
And what are you doing at the moment to help yourself kind of get better at sales so you can overcome objections? Yeah. Do you like the sales training you have in place now?
Yeah.
And it's just like, boom, straight on script. Yeah. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
And it's so easy. I mean,
it's easy when people message us. We get into Messenger with them, and when we have our people message them, and you and I message them, and everybody in our team, we kind of slap people around a little bit and just kind of question their way of thinking that allows the situation to keep happening. So if a salesperson is not making as much money as he wants, let's say he's making $5,000 a month, or he's making 7 or 3 or 12 or whatever he wants, but he's wanting to get to a higher level, it's just simply like, hey, dude, do you want to stay at that income level, or do you want to make more? Because you can do, you can't do both. Like, which one do you want to do? We like slap them around. Oh, I want to make more money. Well, what are you going to do to make more money if you don't know the right skills to make more money? It's like we're slapping them around a little bit. And they're like, oh, I guess I need to learn the right skills. How do I book with you guys? And they book on with us. We ask them questions to find out their situation and what their problems are and the root cause and really how the problem's affecting them, right? And where do they want to be? Can we help them get there? And if we feel like we can, we're going to go over how our training can help them get to those income levels. We do it every day.
Yeah. And I think it's a very interesting, I think we were in that meeting today with Sean about the marketing, and he was like, there's no one who's been marketed to more than salespeople. And I was like, that is very true. Because everyone, I think with sales, the great thing, there's two things, a good thing and a bad thing. The bad thing about it is that I think it's easy to sound like a guru, because you can just basically make shit up, or you can sell in industries where it's very if you don't sell a few $1 million a year worth of real estate, what are you doing?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Exactly. You can say Ryan Serhan, one of our clients, he opened up his brokerage, I want to say 3 or 4 months ago. They've done 400 million in sales already.
Yeah. No, it's awesome. Yeah. 100%.
And so it's easy to kind of sound like a guru, but then the great thing is I think the wheat from the chaff is separated pretty easily by showing actually what you can do. And I think Cardone does a good job of kind of showing, because I don't love his way of selling, but obviously he's a very talented individual, whether it's,
I think he's a great marketer.
Yeah, exactly. But at least he gets on the phone and he does some cool stuff. One of his daughters, he has his daughter's cold call every day. He teaches her how to cold call. It's super interesting. I like his ethos in some ways, where it's and apparently from speaking to Marco, who used to work for him, it's a very cool environment. It's very motivating environment to be in.
Yeah.
So I like that aspect of it, because I think that a lot of salespeople, the best salespeople that I've found are people that are harder, that you can soften, and then you can give them the nuance. And I think that that's what that creates.
Like 10x is their results. I mean, I saw him on some like YouTube video, and one of his clients came up on stage. He was like, well, what do I say when the prospect says this? Like when I cold call, and he's like, well, they role play with me. And they role played. And the guy was like, and the guy went over like this crazy script. And I'm like, oh, that sounded awful. I mean, it was so bad. And Grant was like,
numbers game.
Well, Grant was like, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do this. And the guy was like, well, I just read this from your training. The crowd was like, I don't think Grant knew that that's what he trained in his online university. And it sounded so bad. And it kind of stuck him where he was kind of like, oh, yeah, I must have changed it. And I'm just like, dude, you're not understanding that your stuff, I know it might have worked 30 or 40 years ago when you were in sales, but we're in 2021, man. You call companies like that or prospects like that, they're going to throw up, they're going to hang up the phone in 8 seconds. Like you can't just get on there and talk your way into it like a telemarketer. Like you're dead.
Yeah, it's a funny one. I think it's funny when the guys will start learning NEPQ, and obviously we have cold calling scripts, and cold calling is one of the ways that we generate leads. I think cold calling is the marketing that will never die. And it's extremely effective. Everyone hates it unless you're good at it, and then it's fine. Like if you're good at it,
you're going to hate it if you don't know what to say or ask when the prospect answers the phone. Because if you don't know what to say and ask, it triggers sales resistance quickly and they get rid of you. So of course you're going to hate it. But if you know what to ask that triggers them to want to engage, it becomes quite fun.
Yeah. And cold calling is like, once you know how to do it, like it's actually like it's a freedom thing, because you're like, oh, I now never have to worry about anything, because I know that at the end of the day, I can just pick up a white pages and I can just call businesses flat out, and I'll do $200 to $300 a day. And from that, I can probably book, maybe 1, maybe 2 appointments every day, every other day. But like, man, that's pretty legit. Like our cold caller, Kyle, I mean, we use a thing called Seamless IO, which kind of helps some of the back end of cold calling. But cold calling takes 3 months to develop a really strong pipeline to where it's a really consistent revenue stream. But I mean, he started cold calling Monday, and he's already set 2 appointments.
Yep. He's getting like 20% It's awesome.
Yeah. Which is crazy. Like that's
what we teach you how to do.
It's just through like the opener gets engagement. And then from there, you can just sort of take them through. And as soon as you find a problem, and people are just like, they're on board, and then people want their problem solved. Like, that's why people like, oh man, it's so frustrating. And I see I was talking to a big YouTuber this morning. I was talking to his head of like operations. They want to potentially talk to us about some training. And, like they've got great marketing and it's just inconsistent sales. Yeah. And, I always look at someone's sales flow, because we get hit up a lot to do sales for people or to consult or whatever. And it's like, there's always so much inconsistency within the salespeople, because the way they sell is combative. Their scripts are not great.
They're winging it.
Not sticking to scripts. Yeah. They're just kind of making it up as they go. And it's just a completely ineffective way of selling. And then the people are against scripts, it's just crazy.
Well, it's up and down. It's up and down. So companies come to us, just like you said, like this major company that does marketing and agency on YouTube. They come to us for those reasons, because they're frustrated by their sales teams having inconsistent sales results, right? They're concerned about losing customers, losing prospects to like, low cost competitors. And sometimes they're just plain out worried about their prospects seeing them just as another vendor. And we solve all that for them by teaching their salespeople the right skills, the right questions to ask, that when they talk to their prospects, it triggers the prospect to want to engage, to want to open up, not to put up the wall resistance and try to get rid of them. It's a completely different way of selling, and it gets completely different results.
Yeah, absolutely. It's crazy to see as well. Like we take someone like Thales. Yeah. Never sold 5 months ago, started selling. I think 3 months ago, started using NEPQ, and he's doing 20K month in commissions in his first
a guy who was a tech guy. He worked for a company as a production manager that would go do live events. Coronavirus happens, loses his job, of course, because there's no live events. And he gets into sales, gets into our training 3 months ago. And in his 3rd month, made 23,000 commissions in 1 month. How's that even possible? First month made 5, second month 9, third month 23,000 commissions. Well, it's because he knows he knows the right questions to ask. They get the prospect to persuade themselves. It's a completely different level of results that we get for companies.
Yeah, so Tails is crushing it. Same thing with Marco. Like, I mean, Marco was selling fitness products for $97 a year ago. Yeah. And now he's possibly one of the top coaching consulting guys on the planet.
Yeah. No, and it doesn't matter the industry. You know, the thing that we always get, and that's why Jerry Acuff came to us, you know, the CEO of Delta Point. Like I said, one of the largest sales consulting companies in the United States. Okay. He's going to retire in the next year or two. So he's looking for a company to take over his clients, you know, to merge together. The reason why he came to us, he was on our podcast, right? And he's like, whoa, these guys know what they're doing. And when he joined our Facebook group and he saw like these thousands of testimonials, and we've only been around for like 2 years, he's like, dude, I can't even understand this. Then he goes through our training content and he's like, man, I thought my stuff was good, but he's like, I'm realizing that even my stuff was triggering sales resistance. He's like, you guys are on a whole different level. And he's like, the one thing I like about your training is that it works for any industry. He's like, you know, my stuff, we mainly train like pharmaceuticals and these other type of industries. He's like, but your stuff, you're getting results in every industry out there. It doesn't matter if it's B2B or B2C or real estate agents or insurance or financial services or coaches or SaaS or cybersecurity or software. It doesn't matter. You guys are getting the same results for all these companies. It's like, how is that even possible? It's because of that duplicatable process from situation questions to problem awareness to all the way to the commitment questions. It's all those questions in that step-by-step order that gets companies and salespeople's massive results.
Absolutely, man. So what are some things that you're working on? Like what parts of your game are you looking to polish at the moment?
Well, you know, as you know, our NEPQ 3.0 sales training course was 12 hours of content, which was great. Yep. But I'm like, you know, we need more. We recorded that a year ago or whatever. It was the updated version. But I'm like, let's add more content. So we just added another 5 hours of training content. A lot of it's for B2B sales, probably 3 hours of that. Yep. And there's a good hour and a half that's just on objection prevention and some objection handling. So that 5 hours of content is being edited now. It's going to be back in the course here in the next week or two. I know that me and you were talking about in the next quarter, we're going to add another 3 hours or so of different training on looping and reframing and some other things. So it's going to be a 20+ hour course. And one thing with us is that we're always adding more content. Like we're not just going to keep that for 20 years. Like every year, we're probably going to add 3 to 5 more hours plus of more training content to what we already have.
Yeah, because I think sales is evolving, right? You know, it's called the new model of selling because we're in a new era, and as things start to, you know, as markets adjust, and sales has to adjust, but I mean, human communication stays pretty solid. So I think that's why like the NEPQ methodology is a pretty solid one because it's just a relatively neutral, like it's a good form of communication. It's not really combative, and it's a great framework to work off so that you can then use that framework. And then from there, you can kind of put your own flourishes on it and kind of make it your own so you're not sounding like somebody else. But in terms of like a base level foundation, I know for me personally, it was huge. And I sell in my own way. I have my own style. Marco sells in his own way. You sell in your own way, but we're all using the same sort of basic set of frameworks and a basic framework. Because sales, what a lot of people don't understand is like, you can't just jump around. Like you can't wing it because everything stacks on top of each other. Like once you get the real problem, then you have to get like what happens when you solve the problem and like what you get out of that. There's like a tangible tie down. Then you get an emotional tie down for the tangible. And then you can have like a reason why that's important to them. So which is an emotional driver behind the need to move forward. And then once you future pace out the moving forward, then you take that away with consequence questions. And then you future pace the consequence of the inaction. Once you have all that, then you can get a commitment. Once you have a commitment, you can get an action. So like, but they have to stack in that order.
Yeah, they can't go backwards, right? So most salespeople just wing it, right? They'll ask a question and then they'll talk and then they'll ask a question over here and then talk more. And it's just like, there's no structure. There's no A to Z. Like the way we train our salespeople, it's almost like a factory. It's like you just take them down the conveyor belt, but it's a natural feeling for the prospect. They don't feel it scripted. They don't feel like, oh, they're just taking me down a sales process. They feel that your true intent, which it is is to see what problems do they have? What are the root causes of the problem? Like, how did it happen? And then how is this affecting this person or companies? And then can we solve that for them, right? And so when we take them through that conveyor belt, they feel our intent is there to help them solve the problems that, oh, by the way, 15 minutes before you started talking to them, they didn't even realize they had, right?
Yeah.
That's the power of NEPQ. That's why we talk about, in our day and age, it's not enough to be a problem finder. Every sales book out there says that. You have to be even better at problem finding. You have to be a problem finder, right? And that's finding problems that they didn't even think they had. That's the power of NEPQ.
Absolutely. Is that your phone ringing?
I know, my phone's ringing.
I've been hearing that. I'm like, what is that? It's your phone. I thought you had some bass in the background. You know, just a bit of drum and bass. You're in there by yourself with glow sticks.
Yeah, I'm not in my office today. We're at the lake house here and stuff. So down here, I could pick a bedroom and stuff, but when we're not here at the lake house, we rent this out like Airbnb. So it's like all these beds and stuff in there. So I'm like, where am I going to put a desk out here? I'll put it in the pool room. Why not?
Why not? Everyone's got to have a pool room. I just bought a pool table for our new office.
I love it.
So yeah, gonna get better. So also bought an arcade machine.
Where's the arcade machine? I haven't even been to the office in Sydney yet.
No, it's getting built. We're just
all right.
You gotta ask that guy over there to where all the permits are.
We'll be heading down.
Yeah, the Sydney office. It's beautiful. Yeah, all right. So if you guys want to learn some of these skills, why don't you go ahead and head on over to the Facebook group. Check us out. Also, you can watch this if you guys are watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that kind of good stuff. That way, you know every single time a new one comes out. If you're listening to this on your whatever, Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, whatever it is you listen to, make sure you subscribe. That way you get notified every single time we do a new episode. Make sure you go to the Facebook group, ask us any questions, get amongst it. Start getting better.
Yeah, get in the Facebook group. There'll be a few questions that you'll fill out so we know kind of what your industry is, where you're at now, where do you want to be sales-wise, income-wise, and get in there. And we even like tag you and give you like a free training just right off the bat. I can't remember what it was, like objection handling training or something. You just get it right when you join the Facebook group and get in there and learn. We typically go live in the group about 4 times a week, sometimes 5, with different trainings and Q&A, and just get in there and learn and message us if you want to learn how to sell a lot more of your products or services. And we'll get you more details about our training programs that have done that for thousands of our clients so far.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Thanks very much for joining us. This is Closers Are Losers, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Now, if you're serious about joining the top 1%, I mean the top 1%, and you want to experience more training content just like this, click the links right over there. Right over there, they're exactly what you need to see next. You see, I release new episodes featuring top salespeople and sales authorities, multiple 6-figure, high 6-figure, even 7-figure earners. And if you're new here, do yourself a favor and smash that subscribe button right below, and join our new Facebook group, Sales Revolution. You see, it's free, and there's a link in the description below just for you. We put it there for you. Finally, I make posts on Facebook and Instagram each and every day with more tips and training. So be sure and follow me and turn on your notifications. So make a comment in the first 7 minutes to any of my latest posts, share this episode, and there's a very real chance that you're gonna win some killer prizes. And here's the thing, don't sit on the sidelines. Don't be like everyone else. Get into the game. Join the sales revolution. Stay active, get involved, learn the right skills, and we will show you how to take your life and income to a level that most only dream about.